Hey everyone, and welcome to Rust Run. Today, we are getting straight into one of the most fundamental skills in programming, control flow. This is how we take charge, telling our Rust programs exactly what to do and when to do it. We'll break down if expressions for making decisions, and then we'll tackle the essential loop types. Let's jump to project creation. Let's kick this off by declaring a new variable called number, and I'll set its value to 7. Now, for our very first if statement, we'll check if number is less than 5. If it is, we'll print condition was true. Otherwise, using an else block, we'll print condition was false. Go ahead and run that. You should see condition was false because, well, 7 isn't less than 5. Now, let's quickly change number to 3 and run it again. See? Now it prints condition was true. Pretty straightforward, right? Now, here's something really important in Rust. The condition inside your if has to be a Boolean, or evaluates to Boolean. Rust won't just guess or implicitly convert numbers or other types to Booleans like some languages might. Let me show you something that won't fly. In this example, after our if expression, we've placed number, which is an integer, not a Boolean, and it can't evaluate to 1. The compiler immediately yells at us. Rust strictly expects a bool. Here, there are no shortcuts. The correct way to check if value is non-zero is to explicitly compare it like this. We can add an else block if we want, or just keep it as is. I'll go ahead and add an else block, but feel free to experiment. Looks perfect. Now, let's talk about else if. When you have several conditions to check, else if allows you to chain them together. Rust evaluates these conditions in order, executing the code for the first one that's true, and then it moves on. Let's see it in action. Let's declare a new variable called num and set it to 9. Now, we'll build out our else if chain. First, we check if num is divisible by 4. If it is, we print divisible by 4. Now, we use this else if statement to check if num is divisible by 3. This line will execute only if the previous check was false. And if that's false, we check if it's divisible by 2. Finally, if none of those conditions are met, our else block catches everything else. With num set to 9, it is not divisible by 4, but it is by 3, so that block runs. If num was 8, only the divisible by 4 block would execute, even though 8 is also divisible by 2. Remember, Rust stops at the very first true condition it finds. Here's a really neat Rust feature, and it's something I love. If is an expression. Let's declare a condition variable and set it to true. Now, we'll use an if expression to assign a value to result number. If condition is true, it gets 5, otherwise it gets 6. Go ahead and run this. You should see 5 because condition is true. Now let's change condition to false and run it again. Now it prints 6. The else branch was executed. Finally, let's try to break the type rule. If we try to return different types, like a number in one arm and a string in another, Rust will immediately throw a compile error. This upfront type safety is a huge win, preventing so many common headaches down the line. In this first part of Rust Run control flow, we've taken a solid look at if expressions. We covered the fundamentals, how to use basic if and else for conditional execution. We then discussed the crucial requirement for Boolean conditions. You saw how to chain multiple checks efficiently with else if, and finally, we explored the powerful concept of using if as an expression to assign values directly to variables. Mastering these conditional statements is essential for building any Rust program that needs to make smart decisions. In the next Rust Run episode, we explore how to repeat actions in your code using Rust's looping tools. You will learn how each construct works, when to use them, and how to write clear and efficient loops the Rust way. Don't miss out on more Rust Run content. Like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.